Okay, so this is the subway stage, and a couple of things to notice about this. See how the floor, the backgrounds, everything, it's all basically just one layer. So you effectively just have two layers. You have what you can see there, and then you have the subway train that goes by. It's really only basically two layers there. And I really like this stage. I think this is one of the neatest stages in the game, and so it was kind of important to me to do something special for this stage. I wanted, to really stand out and be kind of neat. So even though this is really early work in progress, I just want to show you, kind of where I'm going with this. Let me pause this. So you can see how. What I've done here is basically all of these parts of the stage, the floor, the blue beam, the middle grate in the background, the kind of like decommissioned train, the benches in the background, the columns in the background. Watch as I scroll. Notice how everything has been broken up into a separate layer. This thing now has around 8 layers of parallax. And so it looks really nice. I mean, look how much depth it adds. It actually feels more like, you're actually in a subway now. Like, it actually feels like there's a gap between the different platforms in the subway. This is something that, the CPS-1 hardware just, couldn't have done, but because I really have no technical limitations here, I can kind of do whatever I want. And so even though this stage is actually really small and you barely even see it, I've gone through and put in that effort to actually give this tons of layers of parallax, and it's kind of cool. Like I said, this is one of the iconic backgrounds. This is one of the things that people remember about Final Fight. So it has to be nice. It has to be special. Like I said, this is really early progress here, and so I don't. I haven't completely put together the scripting for the trains yet, because that's something that I still need to work on. But let me just kind of give you just a little idea about sort of what it'll look like. The other thing about Final Fight that's a little interesting is that the screen shake, like camera effect, it is kind of shitty. It doesn't really apply itself the same way to the sprites and the backgrounds. And so you can kind of look at just the really kind of rough work in progress I have here. You see how my shake actually it shakes everything equally, the sprites and the backgrounds and all that stuff. So yeah, it's I still need to tweak this. I need to decide, like, am I going to do like how much is it going to shake, that kind of thing. Am I going to have like a rough shake, a smoother shake? I need to tweak this a bit, but it's I'm working on that. So I already have like an event system, so I can basically say, like, okay, I do something in the stage, I trigger something happening, so something happens, and that'll be used for many things in the game, such as like when I walk by a doorway in the first stage of the slums. The door will open and enemies will start coming out, just basic stuff like that. They're going to be kind of, all kinds of triggers, throughout the game. So I built that system, and we'll be using that for the subway. So it's basically just going to be something like, once I hit a certain point in the subway stage, I'll trigger the, subway train coming out, and then it'll come out, and then, slow down, and when it, stops, then, that will trigger an event that says, okay, open the doors. So just that kind of logic is the thing that I'm working on now. But like I said, though, I love parallax, man. I love 2D parallax, and I think this is kind of neat. I think this is actually like the first time this stage has really kind of like looked and felt like it should. It always felt way too flat. It just didn't have the depth that it needed to actually get across the idea that there's a gap between these different subway platforms. It's like the idea was there, but they just couldn't do it with the hardware that they had.